All right, the DJI RS3 has a lot of great features on it. One of my favorite has to be the ActiveTrack system that comes inside this gimbal. Now, if you're not aware of what ActiveTrack is, it's kind of like having an assistant built into your gimbal. And where it really helps is if you have tricky shots where you really got to be focusing on your body movement and position, ActiveTrack lets you go ahead, you can lock on a subject, and the gimbal will track that subject, therefore freeing you up to make sure you're focusing on your body movement and position, just all the things you need to get the best shot possible. Really, really nice feature to have, and it's pretty easy to set up, but I want to walk through how to do it in case you want to start implementing it yourself in the RS3 Pro. Now, I'm not sure if this is in the RS3. I know it's in the RS3 Pro, but based on everything I know about DJI, I would imagine this system will work very, very similar, so I'd follow along. Hopefully it works about the same and we can do it. Now, the first thing you're going to need is this. This is the RavenEye wireless image transfer system that comes from DJI. Now, they've started calling this just like a wireless transmission device, but it's also got a big RavenEye on it. So this is a RavenEye. It's what I've always known it as. And this is the first thing you're going to need to get. Now, the good thing about it is if you look, there is a cold shoe mount here on the bottom. So if I go ahead and put this thing to sleep, you will see here on the bottom of my RS3 Pro, there's actually a port for it to put. So what happens is I can take this, slide it on there, and you'll hear it click in. Boom. It clicks right in, and now it just lives in there. Super, super sturdy. It's not going to go anywhere. I've actually never had that fly off. Now, one benefit about this is actually nice is you can actually pop this off. Say you're completely done with your gimbal and still want to have a wireless transfer system. You can put this on any cold shoe anywhere and still get wireless HDMI monitoring to a smartphone or tablet. So it's kind of a nice thing to have just to have it. Now, hooking this up is pretty simple, but it is important you follow the right steps. Now, in the combo that you get with this, you can get a number of USB-C and HDMI cables. And for the RavenEye, check this out. They give a little right angle USB-C to straight USB-C thing. And where you hook this up in the ports is important. If you hook up in the wrong port, it will not work. So if you look here, there are 3 ports right here on the DJI RS3 Pro. I want to hook into the bottom port. That's very, very important. So if I just hook into that bottom port right here, I can now take this right angle one and I'll hook it in right here. I click it in and boom, most of the way there. The next thing is to take an HDMI cable and hook it from your HDMI out into the HDMI over here on the RavenEye. Now, once again, you do get a full size, a micro and a MIDI HDMI cable that comes with the package. So I have a Canon R5C, which has the most terrible HDMI ports. So what I'm going to do is take my little tiny one. I'm going to hook it up right here on my camera. And then I just hook it down here into the HDMI of the RavenEye, which is on this side. And now you can see I have it hooked up right here. It comes in right there. And now I've got everything hooked up the way I need to make my RavenEye system work. Now, to get the RavenEye itself up and running, it's pretty straightforward. I'm going to turn it around just so you can see the back of it here. And as you can see, there's these 2 antennas here. Pop them open just to get your range a little bit better. And you will see, first off, there's a little number here that has a serial number, and there's a button here on the back of the RavenEye. So if I just long hold the button, you'll see it starts popping, and then the main thing is you'll see a little red light pop up there on the back of the RavenEye. This is very important. This lets you know that you are now transmitting a signal. And now, as far as the RavenEye is concerned, it is basically good to go. Now, if you're using an app, you will need to know the first time you ever need to log into the RavenEye system, it does have a password. Now, the DJI default password is 12345678, and most of the time, if you're ever logging on, you can do that. If you want to set a custom password, you can. I just leave it 12345678 because it's simple and never have to worry about thinking about it. But that is important to know once you get in logging on. Now, once you have ActiveTrack built and the RavenEye up, there are 2 ways to basically activate ActiveTrack on your gimbal. One is in the gimbal itself, and one is in the app. So let's go ahead and look here at the gimbal itself. Now, when you're looking at the gimbal itself, you have the back screen here, and all you got to do is just go ahead and swipe to the right. And there you'll see ActiveTrack right there. I have my assistant Bob back here. He's helping me out. And you'll see a couple things here. One, I'm just going to show you the status of the camera. The other thing is you can see I can set my ActiveTrack speed. And the ActiveTrack speed basically determines how fast this is going to react when I move. If you want it to be super punchy on there, go to really high speed. If you want to be really slow and relaxed, go to low speed. I find that around 20 works really good. That's generally where I tend to put it. Now, once I've got Bob all set, all I have to do is I can just draw my finger and you will see a little square come around Bob, and now I have Bob. And if I take this off here, you will see now that Bob, it tracks Bob even if I'm behind him. I can come over here and walk over here, and you will see that it keeps Bob and it keeps tracking with him wherever I go. Really, really nice little feature, and that's right there here on the back. Now, another part of ActiveTrack on the gimbal that's actually really, really useful is you can actually get it with a single click. So as you can see, I have Bob pretty much centered up here, and if I just single click, boom, you will see that it instantly gets an ActiveTrack. It basically is letting the gimbal try and decide what you want to track. And the great thing is now that I've just single clicked, I can easily go, and once again, you can see Bob continues to stay really well tracked. I don't have to do anything. He's just staying tracked. So it's a really, really nice feature. I really like that single click option that lets me quickly run and gun. Now that being said, while it is really nice having the ActiveTrack built here into the gimbal itself, I actually really prefer to use the app because it makes it so much easier. It's a bigger screen, a lot more to do on it, a little more intuitive. Let's go ahead and take a look at how to set it up on the app. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come here into the Wi-Fi settings. I'm gonna pop it up there, and I've established RavenEye as a thing before, so I've already entered the password. Remember that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 password. If you haven't had it, I'm gonna click on RavenEye. You'll see it pop up. It's gonna tell me there's weak security. I don't really care. It's a gimbal. I'm not that worried about it. All right, then once I do that, I'm gonna come back here into my apps, and there's the DJI Ronin app. I'm gonna open that up, and then you'll see, boom, it's gonna instantly open up in your app with the RavenEye connected. Now here's the thing, you're gonna get a warning about your Bluetooth system. It's gonna tell you your Bluetooth system can interfere with the Wi-Fi signal coming from the RavenEye. So one thing DJI suggests you do is you need to go in there and disable Bluetooth on your phone so it doesn't screw up with your RavenEye. I'm gonna be honest with you, I've actually never really had that big a problem with it, so I don't even bother with that. I just leave Bluetooth on there and go from there. That's totally up to you. I'm just letting you know. Something I do that I probably shouldn't do. Now, once you are here, so I'm just gonna go ahead and hide that. So now that you're here, it's basically the exact same thing as what happens here on the back of the gimbal. I just have more space to play with, and it just makes things a little bit easier. So what I like to do, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm just gonna draw a square there on Bob, and boom, you'll instantly see that I get the ActiveTrack on there. I can come back out here now, and as you can see, I can just track. I'm not moving or doing anything with my gimbal whatsoever. I'm just letting the gimbal take care of all of that. It's really, really helpful. I find this is really good too if I'm in a situation where I want to come up. You notice even when I raise and I lower, look at that. It really gets you a really good job. And that's actually one of the areas that I really love using ActiveTrack with is with crane shots, because it is really nice to kind of sit there and pop a gimbal up and lower it down and know that it's going to track it really, really well. The other area that I find ActiveTrack super helpful for is for product videography, because I love being able to just lock on a product and I don't have to sweat about what I'm doing and when I'm going. Anyway, if you're interested in seeing some of the ways you can employ ActiveTrack, please leave me any notes or comments down below. I'd love to make a video about that, but I really wanted to concentrate today on setting this thing up and getting it running in case you had any questions about it. Anyway, guys, I hope that was helpful. I'd love to hear what you have to say about this. Leave me any notes or comments down below. And yeah, go out there, keep on shooting, and yeah, I'll talk to you soon.